Kirsten Oswald, at the beginning of Prime Minister's questions today, asked a question about disabled people, and she said when the autumn statement comes through, which will be any minute now, it's going to suggest that disabled people will have a duty to work or to lose benefits, and this seems a punitive policy. Her words, not mine. And for everybody should have an incentive to work, but using some sort of bureaucratic process, which is what happened last time, sending out reams of paper for people whose vulnerability is high and whose understanding of what this bureaucracy is looking for is perhaps not as acute as the bureaucrats themselves. The bureaucrats know what they're looking for, and the paperwork is heinous. I went through it many times, and the last time all this came through and people were ringing me up asking me if I could look at this nonsense, and I did, and I was appalled. It was turgid and difficult and not entirely transparent stuff. 2.5 million people are too sick to work. 1.2 million people are waiting for mental health treatment, and there's 137,000 jobs, and the question was very simple. 137,000 jobs. How many of those can be reliably done at home by people who are our most vulnerable? And what sort of management is this that sort of is pushing people without giving them a clear direction to go? By all means, highlight those jobs which can be done at home by people who are vulnerable and who are not fit to do a job in the workplace. By all means, indicate what those jobs are, but indicate them. Don't sort of flounce around saying these things exist when you don't actually know. I think Kirsten Oswald's question from the SNP is a really serious and a really good question. We should hear it in full and hear the Prime Minister's rather lame and rather useless response. Basically what he says is, we have to wait until the Chancellor. I don't want to spoil the Chancellor's thunder. Well, it's not about rhetoric. It's about people's lives. Not about rhetoric. It's about reality. And some people actually have to live with these issues if the Prime Minister doesn't have.
Kirsten Oswald.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, his government will say that disabled people have a duty to work from home or lose their benefits, as if a suitable job of this kind is something that can be conjured up at will. It should be obvious to anyone that this kind of punitive policy isn't incentivising work, it's simply punishing disabled people who are already among the most marginalised in our community. So can the Prime Minister do his duty and tell us now how many of the 137,000 jobs on the DWP Find a Job website are roles which specify that you can work from home?
Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, it wouldn't be right to preempt the Chancellor's autumn statement later, but let me just say this. I'm proud of this government's record in supporting those with disabilities. Mr. Speaker, not only have we closed the disability employment gap, not only have we increased the number of employers that are now disability confident, we're also making sure that we support those who are most vulnerable in our society, not least with the cost of living payments this year, which include £150 for all those on means-tested disability benefits.